Hi everyone. So happy to connect with you here for a little bit. I'm sitting in a shady plaza. Greg and I call these plazas that because where we live, I love the temperature here. It's very dry temperature. I can't deal with humidity, like humid heat. But during the day, it's like 12,000 feet above sea level, so the sun is strong. So finding shade is really important. So I had an apple with me and I was like, I'll take a little pause. I'm actually celebrating my birthday today. It's not today, it was on October 23rd. And I did, if you've been watching this, you might remember that I was in San Antonio for my daughter's wedding. Her wedding was on the 25th, so we were there on the 23rd. And I was so blessed to celebrate with all my kids who are now young adults. So that was great. They took me out to a really awesome lunch in San Antonio. And now we're celebrating here with some friends that we've made here in Mexico since we've relocated. So I actually was searching for birthday candles. I wanted to find a 5 and a 1 to put on my cake. I know this is all personal stuff, but I'll share it anyway. We're gonna go eat at an Indian restaurant. There's a delicious Indian restaurant here. I love Indian food. And if you don't know, I don't eat gluten. And I mean, that's over 10 years now. And I can't have dairy either. I can have eggs, I know, but I can't have milk or milk products. So there's this amazing chef that sells her stuff in this little organic market next to our house, and I had her bake me a birthday cake. I don't know if this will sound delicious to you, but it's delicious to me. It's cardamom and lavender, gluten-free, dairy-free, with this beautiful pink frosting. My inner child is so happy that she made with blueberry as base. So anyway, we're taking that to the restaurant because I can't have any of the desserts there. And I'm so excited, and I bought little crystals to do these little gift bags for everybody that's going, and I wanted to have candles on the cake, and I didn't realize how hard it was going to be to find. So anyway, that's not the point of any of this, but what I wanted to talk about today, just a quick teaching, is about the energy of getting. And I've talked about this before, but I thought it would be useful again. So when you are here as you are, as a helper, as a therapist, wellness professional, whatever job title, but you're here to help others, being of service is so essential. Being in that service energy, right? Giving without attachment. But we're human, right? We have a human self. We have an ego structure. And so we are, of course, we're not just walking around in bliss all day. We have human thoughts and human emotions, and we have fears, and there are times when we go into lack and scarcity. So whenever you're in what one of my teachers calls get energy, meaning like you need to get clients, or you need to get money, or you need to get ideas, or you need to get fit, or you need to get fill in the blank. Notice when you're in that energy. And it happens to all of us. There's no shame. It's just like noticing, I need to get more followers on my social media, or I need to get more fit. I mean, it could be so many things. That get energy feels pretty terrible, actually. There's a neediness, there's a graspiness, there's fear behind it. There's always lack and scarcity behind it. And it's a very low vibration. And what I wanted to share here is to remind you, your soul. So yes, we have a human body, right? We have a human self, but we're more than a human self, right? We're a soul having a human experience. It's like we put on this suit of a human, but we're actually a soul. So when I coach my clients, that's what I'm coaching them on, is really how do you live this human life? How do you not let those human thoughts and emotions control you, direct you, your human brain lead the way, right? Because our human brain is designed to always be looking for danger and always be worried and always think there's not enough. And so that's really challenging. But when you're here on a beautiful mission like you are, when you're here designed to be a helper, an example of what's possible, then we're designed really to notice those human things, but not let them run the show, right? Not let our brain run and direct us, but instead us align with our soul's thoughts and our soul's emotions. And there's a process to all of that. And so what I was going to say, your soul, the soul, is never in get energy. It's never getting. It's never looking to get something. It is in allowing, receiving, magnetizing. So think of those energies: allowing, receiving, right? Magnetizing. That energy is very different. Like when you're in a state of allowing, you're just open, right? There's no fear behind that. You're just like, when you're in a state of receiving, same. It's not grasping, it's not urgency. You're just letting yourself receive. And that can be a challenge. I've talked about that in other videos. Like sometimes, and a lot of helpers have this block where they don't feel worthy of receiving, or they don't feel like they're here to receive. They're only here to give. And that's, nothing could be further from the truth. Your soul is literally constantly receiving. Your soul's eternally in a state of receptivity, receiving from God, from the soul, from the divine. So the reason I'm saying this is because it's, to make this really practical, to notice as you go through your day, when you notice you're in that get energy, right? Even as I was walking here, I was so happy to walk here. I was like, okay, I'm gonna walk to Centro, the historic center. It's really like a 20-minute walk. Then depending on where you're going here, it could be longer. I was like, I'm gonna look for candles, and it'll also be my workout. I'll walk around, I'll take an apple and eat an apple, stop somewhere shady, and shady meaning shade, not shady, the other meaning. But then I somehow, and I can't figure out exactly where, and you don't need to, that's another trick the ego does to us, especially those of us who are very reflective. Like we could go on this spiral, like, what caused me to get into get energy? But the point is, I did. At some point I was just frustrated. I'd gone to a few stores, couldn't find the darn candles. Yeah, I just got in this like lack energy, like, I need to get these candles. And even with this video, at some point I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't recorded this video. I was like, I need to do that, I need to find a spot. It was all like get, and I recognized it, right? Like, this is coming from lack, from some sort of disconnecting from gratitude, disconnecting from my soul. And I'm not gonna judge myself for it, but I noticed it, and I know that one of the number one ways to get out of that energy, to get out of the get energy, first of all, to remember, like, okay, this is in my soul, but then also to shift it to a place of service. I want to be really mindful about how I say this. I don't mean necessarily like you've got to go help someone physically. You might, like, that might feel really good to you. Maybe you're taking a walk and there's somebody that needs help, or there's a friend that needs help. But the reason I'm mindful about this is I know for some of you, some of the coaching that I do with my clients sometimes is around boundaries, around not feeling like they always have to be, like having time for yourself is wrong. So it might not be that. It might be being creative, right? It might be like I remembered I wanted to do this video, and I knew also like, well, I wanted to be valuable to my people, and I also wanted to help me shift back into alignment with my soul. It could be working on your art. It could be just distracting yourself, but just having that intention. And sometimes I'm just like, okay, I know I can feel that I'm in that get energy. Help me to shift. And then just letting it go and trusting that your soul is going to help you, right? It's not anything you need to control or fix, really. It's just this letting go. And again, that's one of the things that I've really been thinking about. How does coaching help? Like, how does my coach help me? How do I help my clients? Because sometimes coaching can feel so intangible, right? I know when my clients come in, they always leave feeling better. Not only feeling better, feeling more empowered, feeling aligned, feeling witnessed, having, ideas, or maybe they had the ideas already, but now they feel like, okay, really focused on them and trusting them. But it's like really thinking about, well, how does that happen? What is it that happens in the coaching sessions? And how that's connected to this is because I realize a lot of times, if my clients are in that get energy, there's no judgment. It's not like, oh, you're in get energy, that's wrong. It's like, oh no, that's just a sign right? That there's been some misalignment, that our thoughts, our very human thoughts, are directing. So it's like here, what we're being called to do on the leading edge of service and leadership is to not let our brain direct us, but us in alignment with our soul direct our brain. And I know sometimes it feels like literally the thoughts are just in your head and you can't control them. I so understand that. So, but that's not actually true. We can choose our thoughts. We can decide what thoughts we want to think, and there is a process. It's actually very simple, not necessarily easy. That's why we often need help, but it's simple. It's not a complicated thing. It's the process of, first of all, identifying the thoughts, which are different than emotions, right? Identifying the thoughts and really recognizing, how is this thought making me feel? And deciding if this thought, for example, if we go back to, I know I'm going off on a little tangent, but like if we go back to that get energy, you can think about, okay, what is the thought that's making me feel like this, making me feel lack? And you might identify, well, the thought is I don't have enough clients, or the thought is I should have more clients, or the thought is I'm running out of time, or the thought is, some other thought along those lines. And you recognize, okay, that thought is actually not serving me. It feels like a fact, but it's not a fact. It's a thought. Even if circumstantially you're like, but I do want more clients. But still, like, you're, again, and I did a great podcast episode recently on healing the shame of feeling you should be further ahead, something like that. And I kind of break it down more about how your soul's never telling you those sentences. And so it is like identifying the thought and how that thought makes you feel. I don't want to go too far into this because I think this will be another video, or it might be a class that I teach actually. But I don't even remember how I got there. But the point is, if you're feeling that you're in that place of getting, remember that your soul is here to receive, is always allowing. It's a receptivity frequency, and it's magnetic. So when you step into magnetism, then you magnetize to you all that you need, right? So I'm going to set that intention that I'm going to stop looking for these candles, and I'm just going to magnetically be led to the place where they are. Because I went to the fancy party store that was 3 floors long. I mean, I got such a headache, and they were so overstimulating. And they had pretty candles, but not the numbers I needed. So anyway, I hope this was helpful to you. I have Sunday, 2 more days, and I'll be done with my challenge that I gave myself of recording 30 videos, like 30 days in a row, not skipping any days. And I've done that, so I know, like today I was like, I'm not missing one when I'm this close. All right, I'm sending you so much love. Bye.